Donald Trump is continuing to harass Michael Cohen by trying to get all sorts of discovery directly from him and serving subpoenas on him. Now, let's talk a little bit about what this is and what's going on. So, Michael Cohen is a witness in the Alvin Bragg, Stormy Daniels hush money case, right? And he's one of the main witnesses. He also has testified in the Judge Arthur Engoron civil case being brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James. And, he's one of the insiders who has flipped on Donald Trump. And so Donald Trump, it drives him crazy and he wants to punish him. And he earlier this year, he filed this $500 million lawsuit against Cohen in Florida. And he was trying to get all kinds of information and discovery through subpoenas in that case. And ultimately, that case got dismissed on the eve of Danya Perry, she's a lawyer who represents Michael Cohen. I also happen to work with her. I'm counsel to her firm. And I didn't work on the case, but in full disclosure, she is a colleague. And she was about to depose Donald Trump, and he didn't want to be deposed by her. I wouldn't either. She's a badass, and she's scary and an amazing lawyer, and dismissed the case right away. But and he, I'm sure, was not happy about that, because he would have wanted the discovery in that case, and he wants to harass Michael Cohen and punish him like he does other people because he's a bully. So instead, what does he do? He subpoenas Michael Cohen for all sorts of information in the Manhattan DA case. Now, let's think about that. Okay, this is not civil, this is criminal. And in a criminal case, the DA's office would have gotten all sorts of information, anything relevant to the case from Michael Cohen already. And because of discovery laws, all of that would have been turned over to Donald Trump already. So what exactly do they want? What exactly does he think Michael Cohen has that he hasn't gotten already? Everything relevant to this case has already been turned over. And so therefore, there's no reason to do this other than to harass Michael Cohen and to intimidate him, to bully him, and to go on a fishing expedition to find other information. So there was a motion to quash that Danya Perry wrote and filed with respect to the subpoena. And there's a few things that she argued. Number one, the subpoena was overbroad. And so, for example, one example of it was that this was for an 18-month period for all documents and communications concerning any legal or non-legal work Michael Cohen did for Trump and Melania. There was another that was request number 4 in the subpoena. Request number 2 in the subpoena. Request number 4: identities of every client Michael has had since January 2015, along with their retainer agreements and payment records. What does that have to do with this case, right? Request number 6: all documents and communications concerning Cohen's 2016 through 2018 taxes, including draft returns and work papers. Again, nothing to do with this case. Request number 7: documents showing what accountants Cohen used in 2016 to 2018. Request number 8: all drafts of Cohen's books. Okay. Request number 9: Cohen's contract with his publisher and documents showing how much money he makes from books and podcasts. So criminal discovery from third parties, which Michael Cohen is, just so you know, is very narrow. It's not like civil discovery, right? By statute, a criminal subpoena must be quashed unless the testimony or evidence sought is reasonably likely to be relevant and material to the proceedings, and the subpoena is not overbroad or unreasonably burdensome. A subpoena can only be used to compel the production of specific documents that are relevant and material to the determination of guilt or innocence. That is, it must be narrowly tailored as to both scope and content. A subpoena cannot be used to fish for impeachment material in the hope that it might uncover information that might bear on the witness's general credibility, and a subpoena cannot be used to compel a non-party to compile and produce documents that are equally available from another source, such as public statements, right? So So this is not like a civil case where discovery is much broader. By the way, had Donald Trump not chickened out of being deposed by Danya Perry, and if that case actually, that other $500 million case actually proceeded, if it had merit, then guess what? He could have gotten a lot of this information. But in a criminal case to a third party, it's very narrow. So the law also says a subpoena should be quashed when it lacks any legitimate purpose and is intended solely to harass. And frankly, Danya Perry made a great showing that the subpoena here was designed to harass Michael Cohen, and also, frankly, to show other witnesses what happens when people tell the truth about Trump. So, he's a bully, and we know that, and this is his way of he does it to everyone, or he tries to do it to everyone. And, look, harassment isn't going to work on Michael Cohen. He's, anyone who's ever seen his show, Mea Culpa, or a political beatdown, or read his books, they know that he can fight back, and he will fight back. And this is a desperate strategy coming from a place of weakness for Trump. And the subpoena is just another instance of Trump's retaliation and trying to get and intimidate somebody. And in this case, Michael Cohen. Look, the first time he retaliated against him was when he had to go to, prison on behalf of Donald Trump, which he did. He served prison time for this whole scheme in the feds. And, then the $500 million lawsuit was the next time he tried to intimidate Michael Cohen. And then the third time was the subpoena. So, and frankly, the most recent time was when Donald Trump got his friends in Congress to make a criminal referral, right? Which was clearly on behalf of Trump, to make a criminal referral against Michael Cohen. So look, the timing of this subpoena, I think, makes it very blatant and obvious that it's coming on the eve of Cohen's I should say that it came on the eve of Cohen's expected testimony in the Office of Attorney General civil trial. That's when the subpoena was filed, but the motion to quash was just recent. And, look, he has a long documented history of retaliation, witness intimidation, and abusing the justice system to silence his enemies. So, this is very, very much I think this failed attempt to get this information in his Florida case, because much of the information was entirely irrelevant to the criminal case, but would have been relevant to Trump's now dismissed $500 million lawsuit. He would have had a better chance of getting it in that civil action that was actually against Michael, but he can't use a subpoena in a criminal case to obtain discovery in another matter. And that matter was totally baseless. And, look, Danya forced the issue and forced Trump's hand and his lack of evidence, and it left him no choice but to drop it. And because she was able to do so quickly, he missed his opportunity to at least get some of the discovery in this case. So he's trying to use a criminal case to get more information on Michael Cohen, to retaliate against him and go against him yet again. And Trump is a bully, and he bullies people, and he bullies witnesses, and he intimidates them. And this is just one more example of him attempting to use the legal system to do so. I'm Karen Friedman Agnifilo, and please join me every Wednesday with Legal AF and with my co-host Michael Popak and Ben Meiselas, who also, they record every Saturday as well. Thanks for listening.
Hey, Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.